All right, everybody, Samori Benjamin back here in Philadelphia after the Knicks get a 112-109 win over the Sixers. Right now, I'm lucky to be joined by Kieth Pompey of the Philadelphia Enquirer. He's been covering the Sixers for years. Kieth, man, a fun game today. Knicks pull it out by 3. What were your thoughts?
You know, my thoughts was early on, it looked like Joel Embiid. It was the Joel Embiid showcase game. It was his game to show everybody, like, look, I still got it. I'm still the guy. But then the one thing about the 76ers, they struggle mightily in the third quarter. And that's what happened today. The Knicks stepped up the pressure. They played well. They jumped out to ended up leading us by as many as 17 points early in the fourth because of the Sixers' third quarter struggles. And then all of a sudden the Sixers came back. But again, I feel like what the Knicks did, they started hitting shots. Like I said, they were being physical, and they played a great game. And even though Joel had 38, they kind of solved him a little bit, more so in the second half. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he only had 10 in the second half. So it was a pretty good game.
Yeah, Mitchell Robinson, he really played well defensively against him. And in the third quarter, Knicks outscored Philly 30-13. You know what? I want to ask you about Joel Embiid because a couple of years ago, I came here for a Knicks Sixers game. Knicks actually beat them that night by like 36 points. It was really surprising. But I did a story. I was talking to Sixers fans, and I asked them, their thoughts on Embiid because, at the time, he still is the only MVP to never get to the conference finals, and he always had his injury issues. So I was asking the Philly fans, how much they still believed in him. And all of them that I talked to, they still were very much in his corner and all that. Now, this is 2 years ago. Since then, Sixers lost to the Knicks in the playoff series, and B was kind of hurt in that series. Got hurt, in that later in that year after I did that story, whatever. Last year, out most of the year. So right now, playing pretty well. I mean, where is the fan base right now on Embiid?
You know what? I think that there was one point where certain people were like, man, it's time to trade him. It's time to do this and do that. But the last couple games, he's been playing at a high level. I mean, you can argue over the last 4 games that Embiid has been the best offensive performer, at least in the Eastern Conference. So with that being said, it's one of those things where you see people coming back, right? And then also, it's like, he's starting to move laterally better. He's doing a lot of different things. So with that, it's kind of like the fans are like, hey, this guy still has it in him. Yeah. We're not going to give up hope. We're not doing anything like that. But at one point, it was one of those things where a lot of people were down on him.
Now, Paul George, his second year here, multiple-time All-Star elsewhere, came here last year on a big deal, missed most of last season. How's he playing for Philly now?
It's weird because when you look at PG, you're not going to see the same dominant scoring performances that you saw with him with the Clippers or with Indiana, Oklahoma City. Like right now, he's like the third option, sometimes might even be the fourth option. But what he does is he plays quality defense that they like, and then also he's like the point forward at times. Like he facilitates and gets the guys in the right spot. So when you look at it, it's kind of like, can he do more? But then at the same time, he's like, look, I'm playing with Joel Embiid. I'm playing with Tyrese Maxey. So, he's fulfilling the role that they need him to fulfill. But when people start talking about the money, they're like, yo, it's $50 million, bro. Like, so that's the thing.
A couple more for you. How much is the city, I guess before the year started, fans probably did not know what to expect after that rough year last year, Embiid's injury issues. But how much hope does the fans have in his team right now?
Well, that's a great question. But you got to understand something about here. It doesn't really matter in Philadelphia until they get to the playoffs. Like, we remember a couple years ago or some years ago where they were number 1 in the East, right? The 76ers have always had hype. How you doing? They always had hype. They always had a lot of different things. But they keep going out in the second round. So it's kind of like a lot of the fan base, they supporting them, they're watching them, this and that, but they want to see what they do in the playoffs. Definitely. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, let me ask you, how long have you been covering the Sixers?
Man, I've been on it. My first year on the beat was 2013-14 season.
Okay, and are you from this area?
Yeah, I'm from Philly.
Okay, so you grew up a fan of like a sports fan of all Philly teams?
Not really, but
okay.
My dad told me you could be independent, you can like whoever you want, but I get what you're saying.
So,
okay.
And what's it been like for you just covering the Sixers over these
last? It's cool. It's been
13
cool.
years?
I mean, it's been cool. I mean, it's one of those things where you would like to see them go further just so you can see what it's like and experience it. But, it's been a roller coaster. Like in the beginning, it was the process, and they were struggling, but they always had great storylines. here's the thing. Like Embiid, even though with the injuries and stuff, he's still one of the best players in the league. They got a nice young emerging star in Tyrese Maxey. VJ Edgecombe the same. So it's been cool. It's been cool.
And last one for you, just the Sixers team this year, when the 4 guys are all healthy, they have 4 guys who really any night could play at an all-star level. So how far do you think this team could get this season?
I don't know, because the thing is like the biggest thing is, like you said, all healthy. And even when they were healthy, they still lost in the second round, right? Mm-hmm. So to me, like that's something hard to judge. Like a lot of people say, you know what, they're a great team, they could probably contend. People are saying that. But again, it's like, it's just tough. I've been covering this team long enough to see, bounces, the 4 bounce with Kawhi, see how they blew a lead against, Boston, some other things. So it's just been ridiculous. Well, not ridiculous, but crazy.
Definitely. Kieth, so the Sixers now are 19-25, I believe. There are 6 still in the Eastern Conference, so they definitely have a chance, folks. Kieth, Pompey, Philadelphia Enquirer covers the Sixers. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
My man.
Definitely. I appreciate you. All right, folks, we're back.